We begin by coming down into constructive rest pose. Resting with our knees bent so that the feet are on the floor in line with the sit bones. Letting the weight of the body drop into the floor. Being aware of the back of the pelvis. Observing the sacrum and noticing if there's an equal balance to the right and the left side of the sacrum. Relaxing the belly and observing the neutral curve of the lower spine. Letting the breath move the ribs naturally and feeling the back of the rib cage against the floor. And the shoulder blades spread broad and flat. Arms relaxed out to the sides, wide enough so that the shoulders are broad, palms turned up. Neck soft, jaw, temples, space between the eyebrows all relaxed so the back of the head drops down into the floor. Take a moment to allow the body to settle and do nothing here. And then we'll begin by warming up the inner core muscles, the pelvic floor, and the transversus abdominis. Feel where your tailbone, your two sit bones, your pubic bone are. Take an inhale and picture the diamond that those 4 points create. And then as you exhale, draw each of the 4 points in towards the perineum, shrinking the pelvis, the diamond of the pelvic floor down towards its center. And then relax that effort. And now picture a big broad belt of support coming all the way around the torso, being ready to support the lower spine, sacrum, and pelvis. Take an inhale, picturing that belt. And then exhale, gently snug the belt around so it moves from the spine over the hips and buckle it beneath the navel. And then relax that effort. And let's alternate back and forth between those two things. Inhale, prepare for the pelvic floor. And exhale, gather the 4 points. Squeeze the sphincters. Draw the perineum towards the crown of the head. And release and relax. While you're relaxing, picture the belt of the transversus. And as you exhale, gather that belt snugly around the low torso. Buckle it beneath the belly button. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Keep your neutral lower back curve. And then release and relax. Again, picturing the diamond of the pelvic floor. Exhale, draw those 4 points in towards the center. Squeeze the sphincters. Lift the perineum towards the crown. And release and relax. Picture the belt of the transversus. And exhale, gather it around, snug it around the hips, the low belly, and then release and relax. Bring the arms down a little closer to the sides, and we'll use the inner core, the combination of the pelvic floor and the transversus belt that we were just working with to stabilize the neutral pelvis, neutral back. Inhale, arms float up to the ceiling. Exhale, engage the pelvic floor and snug the belt around the hips as you reach your arms back towards the floor behind you. Inhale, bring the arms back up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, lower your arms down. Let the arms relax to the sides and the core muscles release. And let's do it again. Inhale, arms float up. And exhale, stabilize with the inner core and reach back. We're keeping the lower back and the pelvis perfectly still. Inhale, arms float up. And then release the arms down to the sides. And one more time. Inhale, arms float up. And exhale, anchor with the inner core. Reach the arms back. And inhale, float the arms up to the ceiling, where we'll pause and relax the shoulders down towards the floor. Feel the humeral heads dropping into the shoulder sockets. And then reach your hands behind your head, interlace the fingers and open the elbows out wide. Take an inhale, feel your chest spreading wide, your ribs flaring, your back ribs pulling up away from the mat. And as you exhale, imprint the back ribs into the mat and knit the front ribs together. And then release and relax. You're going to notice your neutral curve, lumbar curve stays in place, but the ribs move a little bit away from the mat as you inhale. And then let's bring them back down into the mat with the exhale. Imprint the back ribs and knit the front ribs together. And release and relax with inhale. One more time, exhale, imprint the back ribs. Knit the front ribs together, re-engage your inner core and keep your neutral pelvis as you exhale to lift the head. And inhale to lower it. And exhale to lift. And inhale to lower. Once again, exhale to lift. Keep lifted, stay in inhale, and we'll go into the crazy fish. Keeping the sternum facing straight up towards the ceiling. Exhale, side bend. Bring your left elbow to your left hip. Inhale, return to the center. And exhale, side bend to the right. So the nose, the sternum, the belly button, all pointing up towards the ceiling throughout. Inhale to center, and exhale, side bend left. And inhale, center. Exhale, and side bend right. Inhale to the center. One more time. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale, center. And exhale, side bend right. Inhale to the center. We're going to stay here. And go into our alternate leg lifts, keeping a neutral pelvis, neutral spine, anchor, keep knitting and imprinting the ribs, and raise the right foot up off of the mat without allowing the pelvis to move. Flex your foot and reach your heel across the room. Inhale and bend the knee, and then as you exhale, lower your foot. Keep the pelvis steady, and lift the left foot up. Exhale, flex your foot, extend the leg out, and bend your knee with the exhale, re-anchor. Lower the foot down, keeping the pelvis still. Inhale, right foot up. Exhale, flex, extend. Inhale, bend and anchor. Lower down with exhale. And then the left side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, flex, extend. Inhale, bend the knee and anchor. Lower the foot down. One last time. Inhale, right up. Exhale, flex, extend. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, anchor as you lower. And left foot up. Exhale, flex, extend. Inhale, and exhale, lower the foot. And bring your head back down. Take your arms straight up towards the ceiling. Relax your neck and shoulders. And slowly turn your head to one side. And then over to the center. And turn the other way. And release back into the center. Soften your shoulders. Re-engage your inner core. And lift your right foot up. And your left. We're going to go into the 100. Bring your arms down by your sides. Re-engage the inner core, knit and imprint as you press the palms down. Feel the activity in the back of the arms. Lift your head. Extend your legs. Externally rotate the legs so your heels are touching. And then exhale for 5 pulses of the arms. And inhale for 5. Exhale for 5, from neutral spine, inhale, chin into the chest, eyes on the thighs, and inhale. Exhale, long straight arms, and inhale. Exhale for 5 counts, and inhale. Exhale, and inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale, one more time, exhale. And inhale, and bend your knees, lower your head. One hand on each knee, flop the knees out wide. Relax the legs wide for a moment. And then keep them nice and loose and start to stir your legs around in your hip socket. The arms are the power here. Relax the legs. And reverse. And then bring the knees in close to the chest, lengthen the lower back, lengthen the back of the neck. And straighten your left leg out onto the floor. Straight out. Feel the stretch in the front left thigh and pull your right knee into your breastbone. Keep the back of the neck long and the shoulders dropped. And then find your neutral spine. Get the tailbone back down into the floor. Engage the inner core, knit and imprint. And straighten the right leg up to the ceiling. Take a moment, point the toes, pull your kneecap towards your hip socket, place your hands on your hips and your ribs, and steady the pelvis as you do 8 circles in each direction, moving the leg, keeping the pelvis completely still. 8 circles one way. Feel your ribs knitting to your opposite back pockets to make sure that the ribs stay down. And then reset the core and reverse the circles. We still want to have pelvic floor. We still want to have the belt, the ribs knitting to the opposite back pockets, the back ribs imprinting down into the mat. That doesn't mean to flatten the lower back, just reach those back ribs down. When you're done with the second direction of 8, bend the knee. Use your left hand on your right knee and move into a stretch. Bringing your left knee over towards the floor on the right. Your right knee over towards the floor on your left, and relaxing the right arm where it's comfortable. You can adjust the amount of stretch you're getting in your right shoulder appropriately. And then return onto the back and bring both knees into the chest. Again, we're lengthening the lumbar spine and the back of the neck. And then straighten the right leg out and pull the left knee towards the breastbone. Go ahead and let the lower back flatten as you straighten out the front of the right thigh. And release the stretch somewhat until your tailbone is down, neutral spine is in place. Engage the core around there and straighten the legs straight up. Point your toes, pull your kneecap towards your hip socket. Feel where your pelvis and your ribs are. Keep them steady as you circle the leg 8 times in each direction. Keep those right back ribs down, the right hip down. After the first direction, go 8 times the other way. Reconnect with your inner core, your ribs knitting and imprinting. Slow it down, make the circles smaller if you feel your hips moving. When you're done with the second direction, bend the knee, right hand on the left knee, and move into the twist. Adjust the left arm appropriately. And breathe slowly into the twist. And then we'll return to the center. Hug both knees into the chest. And then we'll use a small ball or a folded towel or blanket between the knees. Arms relaxed at the sides. No pillow behind the head right now, please. Engage the inner core, knit and imprint the ribs, and keep your neutral spine as you press your knees into the ball, and then release that, maintaining a stable pelvis and lower back the whole time. Exhale, squeeze into the ball, and release. And again, squeeze into the ball, and release. Now we're going to squeeze into the ball, the core is engaged, we're going to stabilize our neutral spine, and then hinge into a pelvic lift, raising the hips up without rolling through the spine, just hoisting the pelvis up, and then moving the hip crease to lower down. You drop your hips down without rolling through the spine. Maintain your neutral and press up, and hinge back down. One more time. Exhale. Stable spine as you lift and lower. And now we'll change it up to the rolling. And re-engage your inner core, knit and imprint. Tilt the pelvis, squeeze into the ball, and roll up through the spine. And roll down. Imprint as you go, scooping the belly in, rolling through the lower spine, and releasing to neutral. Again. Rolling up through the spine. imprinting and scooping the belly in on the way back down, rolling through the lower spine. One more time. This time when you come down, maintain your flat back, so don't release to a neutral. Make sure your ribs are knitting, and then keep your flat back and lift up and take the ball into your hands. We're still maintaining a flat back. Take the ball above the breastbone, lower the head, maintain the tilt of the pelvis, and straighten one leg out. And then the other one out. We're still flattening, and reach the arms back towards the wall behind you, scooping the belly in, and then relax that. And we'll do a couple roll-ups, engage the inner core, scoop the belly in, tilting the pelvis, knit and imprint, and let's use the inhale to roll up through the spine. Keeping the feet on the floor, the shoulders relaxed. And lean forward, relaxing the neck and shoulders. We want the length in the lower back between the tailbone and the low ribs. Scoop the belly and roll back down. Take it slowly, smoothly back down, one vertebra at a time. Good, keep scooping and imprinting. Reach back, and then relax into neutral. Actually, a little bit of extension beyond neutral. And re-engage inner core, scoop, knit and imprint, and roll up. Keeping the feet down, the shoulders easy. Lengthen the spine as you reach forward, so the crown of the head is reaching towards the toes rather than towards the knees. Keep the chest open and roll down again. Draw the navel into the spine and drop the shoulders. One vertebra at a time. Lower down and then release and big stretch. One last time. Inner core, tilt the pelvis, knit and imprint. Float the ball up and roll. And forward, reaching the crown of the head forward, moving the breastbone forward away from the navel. And roll it down last time. The higher you hold the ball, the more challenge you get. Reach back. I'm going to walk the feet a little to the left. Walk the upper body to the left and cross the right ankle over the left. And breathe into the stretch of the right side. You can keep holding onto the ball. Reaching the ball far away from the feet. And then return into the center. And walk the feet a little to the right. Side bend at the upper body. And cross the left heel over the right ankle. And breathe into the stretch of the left side. And stretch up tall in the center. And let's get rid of the ball. And bring the knees into the chest for a moment. And then come over onto your left side. Lengthening out long onto the left side. Make sure that the neck and shoulders are comfortable. Feet a little forward over the hips. Engage your inner core. Separately from that, lift your organs up off of the mat. And raise both legs up. Top leg up and down 5 times. Bottom leg down and up 5 times. Both legs back and forth 5 times. And 5 circles of the top leg in each direction. Then we're going to lower the bottom leg, externally rotate the top leg, roll out and reach the heel towards the floor in the front. Lift, roll the whole leg in and reach behind the bottom leg. Lift, roll out, flex and reach reach your heel to the front. Point the toe, roll in, reach the toes towards the back. Lift, roll out, flex the foot, heel front. Lift, roll in, point, and reach the toes towards the back. Twice more. Roll out and flex, heel front. Roll in and point, toes back. Last one. Return to the center in parallel. Draw the bottom leg up to meet the top legs and flex both feet back. Squeeze the toes and point the feet. Fan the toes. Flex back. Squeeze. Point. Fan and flex. One more time. Take the reverse with the toes open. Reach. Squeeze the toes and pull back. Open and reach. Squeeze and pull back. One last time. And relax the legs. Keeping your thighs where they are. Bend at the knees. Engage your inner core, take your organ lift, and we're going to roll the right thigh out of the socket 10 times. Keep your pelvis steady. Feel the muscles in the right buttock doing the work. Bend the knees to 45-degree hip flexion. Relax for a moment there. Be sure that the right hip is drawn forward. Soften at your waist and simply engage the inner core, the pelvic floor, and wrap the belt around the hips and keep the right hip tilted forward slightly as you do 10 rotations of the right leg in this position. And relax. And bend to 90 degrees. And last time. Inner core. Pelvis steady, and roll the leg out in the socket. Okay, we're going to move over to the other side. Come and lie on the right side with the legs extended straight out. Feet slightly forward of the hips. Roll your left hip forward. Neck and shoulders comfortable. Engage your inner core. Take an organ lift. And then lift both legs up. Top leg up and down 5 times. Bottom leg down and up 5 times. Both legs forward and back 5 times. And to the center, circle the top leg 5 times, and then reverse, or 5 more in the opposite direction. Lower the bottom leg, externally rotate, flex your foot and reach your heel to the front. Lift, point the toes, roll the leg in and reach the toes towards the back. Roll out, flex, heel front, roll in, point, toes back. You don't have to touch the floor, just go in that direction. External rotation, flexion, heel front. Internal rotation, point, and reach back. Twice more. And return to the center. Both legs parallel and lifted. Flex the feet back and squeeze the toes. Point the feet, fan the toes, and flex back. Squeeze, point, fan and flex, squeeze, point, fan and flex. Keep your toes open. Reach out, squeeze your toes and come back. Open and reach, squeeze and come back one more time. And release. Keep your thighs where they are, bend at the knees. Engage your inner core, take your organ lift and do 10 rotations. Make sure the left hip stays steady and slightly forward. Relax it and bend to 45-degree hip flexion. Now relax the organ lift, soften in the waist. Re-engage the low core and 10 repetitions here, rolling the leg out in the socket. Trying to work deep in the left buttock. Notice your right leg. Try to keep it relaxed as possible. And soften. And then bend the knees to 90-degree, or the legs to 90-degree flexion. Re-anchor. We're keeping the organ lift soft. Left hip stays forward for 10 rotations here. We're going to move on to the stomach. Place the hands under the forehead. Legs slightly separated. Find your inner core and glide your ribs together. Press the forearms down to the floor. Raise the chest and head, opening the breastbone forward away from the belly. And then lift both legs up and beat the feet together 3 times. And then lower down. Legs wide. Head returns to the hands. We'll do that again. Engage the inner core, glide the ribs. Press down into the forearms to raise the chest and head. Draw your breastbone forward, not your chin, mind you, but your breastbone. And then re-support in the low core. Lift the legs up and beat them together 3 times. And then lower the legs and the forehead back down. Relax everything. One last time. Inner core, glide the ribs, raise the chest and head. Upper back extension, open the breastbone. Engage around the pelvis, lift those legs and beat the feet together. Then lower and relax. Okay, come up to all fours. Tuck the toes under. Engage the inner core. Knit the ribs together in the front. Press your hands down to the floor and hover your knees up just a couple inches and lower. And again, press down into the floor and lift and lower. One last time. Lower, then bring your hips back down to your heels in a child's pose. And then lift up tall onto the knees. Lower the arms down to the sides. Right in a plumb line from the crown of the head down to the perineum. Step your left foot forward, the knee and the ankle in line. So don't have your knee forward. We're not doing a lunge position. Knee and ankle well aligned, spine in a nice tall plumb line. Engage your low core, knit the ribs towards the opposite back pockets and tuck your tail between your legs to stretch the front of the right thigh. And release that. And again, tuck the tail. And release. One more time. Release, and then stand on both knees. Step the right foot forward, ankle and knee in line. Gather the inner core, knit the ribs into the opposite back pockets, and tilt your tail between your legs, stretching the front left thigh. Release. And again, tilt the pelvis. And release. One more time, tuck the tail between the legs and maintain for a moment. And release. And again, stand on both knees. Stretch the arms up to the ceiling. And bend forward into a child's pose. Stretching the back out. Up into a seated position, tuck your toes under, and sit on your heels for a moment. Stretching the feet out, relax the neck and shoulders. And then you can practice getting up from here, finding your core engagement, and coming up tall. Roll the arms out in the sockets. Open the breastbone, drop the chin. And relax. And that's where we'll leave it. Right. Thanks. Have a great rest of the day. And this week's hour-long class is on Friday morning at 9 instead of Saturday. So I hope I'll see you then. And of course, you can take the class anytime. Thanks.